Technology, I love it.
Oh, well, all right.
There you are. So how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
Good,
Just
good.
hanging in
Well, that's how, trust me, that's all we're doing these days is hanging in there.
there. Yeah. How is you have like anything going on
Oh
this
my
week?
gosh.
Like any shows?
Yeah. I mean, it's the show, as far as shows are concerned, I'm always playing these days. It seems like it went from absolutely nothing at one time with like, COVID and all that. And then 2022 hit and it was like, okay, we're slowly getting there. And then boom, it's like explosion. 2023 is going to be even bigger. Um, just because of how many out of town shows I'm getting now. And then we're doing some tour support stuff for some national acts, and so yeah, there's some cool stuff happening.
Yeah. Um, I mean, I've been trying to keep busy. Trying to get new music to play on the podcast and
Yeah,
um getting trying to set up new interviews with different
well,
artists.
I know. I think it's. I mean, I call it the grind or the hustle. You just got it. It never stops. It never sleeps, and trying to get on every platform of as far as your music is concerned. One thing that I learned is that people they listen to music, but really they want to watch it. So if you don't put out a video, you know, then doesn't always connect, so to speak.
Yeah. I guess the only people who would listen to a podcast is mostly the people that follow you or support you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's good. I mean, it stays at least connected with a fan base. And what I like is that, even if it's 1,000 people, let's say, and I mean that's 1,000 people that are listening and engaging, and from the standpoint of doing business, it could be
Yeah.
profitable. You know what I mean? Somebody could be like, hey, we want to sponsor your show and, help you out somehow and just kind of keep the artist alive.
Yeah. Have you been to any local like any other podcasts or radio shows in Kansas City that you were invited to?
Just KKFI, but not podcasts. We did a show at KKFI and or an interview, and I did a live performance in there with Micah and Lisa, which are the band members, and
Yeah.
that was kind of fun. But it was a little hectic because I couldn't hear myself, so because there were
Yeah.
drums and stuff, and they really weren't set up, so it was kind of it was a little weird for me. But no, actually, we're getting ready to launch our own podcast, and that podcast is called uh, the Rhythm Section Live, and it is solely designed to talk to bass players and drummers in the industry. And I got this idea because I'm a bass player, but I love drums. You know what I mean? I love drummers,
Yeah.
techniques,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I'm constantly watching it, and I love bass playing too. Obviously, it's something that I'm passionate about, and I've been doing it for pretty much all my life. And so I was like, hey, how cool would it be to talk to like some really super awesome bass players and drummers. So I can't release it yet, but we're actually getting ready to do our first podcast, and we've actually got some really cool recording artists that are instrumentalists. Like there's a guy, he bass player, Dynamite. He's got his own. He has his own signature bass and his own signature strings, and like this guy is like up there. He's high. And there's a few drummers out there, like one's from New Orleans, one's from Nashville, and we were like, "Holy crap! I mean, this is going to be fun." Just because we get to talk to other like-minded people. That one I'm pretty excited about. So the Rhythm Section Live is what it's called.
Have you got in contact with Aaron? That he used to play in the band The Beautiful Bodies. He's really
no, I haven't. I need to.
he's really good.
Yeah. Do you know how to get a hold of him?
There's like I don't have his digits, but I mean, I think he's on Instagram and I believe Facebook, but I don't know if he goes on there in a while. But I did see a post last night that he has a like a recording studio in Leaworth, Kansas.
Okay.
That he's trying to get people to do music lessons or something. I don't know. I just saw I said, "Ooh, that's interesting."
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. You know, I don't know. It's kind of neat when you see guys who have a passion for music and roll it over into other things like teaching and be able to, just kind of like help other people find their passion in music. And yeah, I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, I think so too. It's good that they're still doing music that they love to promote the community and get their name out there.
Yeah. Well, eventually nobody's going to be writing music anymore because I believe artificial intelligence is going to take the helm. And we're all just going to listen to artificial intelligence bands from here on out.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of funny, though, because somebody was talking about that on YouTube. Because this guy took a concept of an idea and he put it in the machine, and he told the AI to write something like a pop song, and then a rap song, and then a rock song, and it did it, and it put the lyrics and everything in there that he wrote. He put it all in there, and I was like, "That's nuts, man! That is completely nuts."
Well, I guess that's kind of a cool opportunity. I guess you could try something new, writing a song from AI.
Well, something tells me everybody's going to be doing that, so we're going to have a lot of pop songs out there pretty soon. I think originality, though, here's one thing that I was thinking about AI. Even I'm embracing it 100%. I know it's going to be here. It's the next Google. But the big thing about AI when it comes to the music industry is that from a creative standpoint, it's probably going to do its job. It's probably going to produce, all the right notes and blah, blah, blah. But it's the artists that have the most original concept. Those are the ones that are going to get out there and actually probably thrive. So they're going to rise to the top because everything's going to sound the same. And I guess you would call those alternative artists that are going to be superstars. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Did you have fun at the event I had in Kansas City?
Oh yeah, the record bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hurricane relief. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And that's where we met the photographer Zimmer.
Yeah,
Oh my, oh my gosh, he's so good. He
I
is so
got him to do it.
oh he's dynamite. He is
Yeah,
dynamite.
he's my favorite photographer in Kansas City. I like his like every time I see him taking pictures of a concert that I was like went to, he was there. So I said, "Oh, let's just get a hold of him." I was gonna get a hold of Samantha. She's also a really good photographer, but she's mostly out of the in California or somewhere far
Yeah.
out.
Well, I think Todd does a great job. He captures exactly the essence, especially on stage
Yeah,
as the bands are doing their thing and tuning or whatever, and like he's like, bam, man, he'll hit those great spots.
yeah,
But yeah, it was a great event, and I hadn't seen Jason Pavoni in so long. That was great to see him too from the Billy Bats.
yeah. Um, I kind of when I was trying to find a lot of people to do it, I was trying to get Brody Buster to come, and then he
Mm-hmm.
was like, he's really good too. Um, he will rock the house up as well if I had more people involved, if
Mm-hmm.
I had more fans to do it with more people.
Yeah, yeah. Brody's time tested. He's a badass.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely. So, so yeah. I mean, we've got some stuff going on as far as music releasing. Um, I've just released a soft release on the website only at damiengunmusic.com. I just released a song called "Waiting on a Sunday," and that song it's a crossover song, so it's kind of a rock with a country flair to the lyrics. But I'm getting ready to release a bunch of singles out on Spotify periodically. And
yeah.
this year, I'm trying to I'm trying to release at least six more songs. We've got four ready to go, and I'm going to release about six more this year.
That's fun.
Oh, I know. I think it's going to be
Um,
so good.
are you recording it at like a studio in Kansas City, or are you just gonna do it in your basement?
Well, when you say my basement, let's call it my studio. Yeah, it's in the basement. I have done every single album in at my house that we've done, and what's crazy is that I mean I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but the beauty of it is that I'm able to create without restriction because I'm not on a clock, so it's like you know flesh out the idea and plop it down and then release it. Um, I kind of miss sometimes going to a studio, like a fancy one. I
Yeah,
remember when I was in LA, we showed up Good Night, and it's a place called Good Night LA, and that was a studio that was everybody went to at one time. And then I went on in Santa Monica. I had a studio down there, and oh my gosh, there were so many great studios in California. Um, and I had, you'd get in there, and the engineer was, this cool long hair guy with, kind of got a cool vibe to him, and he knew what to do, and he set everything up. And you did your track, um, and it was fun because it was an event, right? And it was
yeah.
great, but it cost a gazillion bucks, so you can only get like one or two songs, maybe, you
Um,
know. So I think that's why I started doing it from the house and learning how to do it.
Yeah,
And I'm not alone, man. Think of all the other acts out there that have produced hits in their apartment bedroom. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've done that
Kind of
too,
the Billie
but I
Eilish
mean,
effect.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's cheaper than spending all that money on at a recording studio.
Oh yeah, yeah, much cheaper. Well, I say much cheaper. Listen, in all honesty, it's probably about the same because if you saw my basement and what's in there, and how many guitars I own, how many basses I own, how many drums I own, how many, I mean, the list goes on. Not to mention all the plugins and everything that go onto the computer. It's probably about the same amount of money. You just have more time to spend creating your craft if you own the tools, as opposed to
Yeah,
vice versa. You know.
yeah. I'm thinking of releasing a acoustic song that I did way back when I was like a teenager with Cody Ross, but and that's the song. It's called "Beautiful Girl," but I mean, I think it's great. So I mean, I don't know, but
Well, it never hurts to just get that music out. And there's something that I always think about. There's a guy named Rick Beto, and I don't know if you know who Rick Beto is, but he's kind of like kind of a fancy pants producer out in California, and he was talking about this, which man, it was a moment for me where I just felt comfortable with releasing more content. Is that he's like the majority of stuff that go through Nashville or the big machine stuff, Nashville, LA, New York, that type of thing.
yeah,
They'll record it, but they'll never release it. You'll never hear these songs, and they get lost. Like nobody's going to hear them ever because the publishing company holds on to them, and
yeah,
they could be dynamite songs, but nobody's going to ever hear them. And I'm like, man, that's a good point. I mean, if you're a painter, do you not hang your painting? If you're a poet, do you not tell your poems? Do you not put it out for the world? So music, why this whole mystique about music? Like, well, let's hold that song back because it might not be time or whatever. And I'm like, man, it's art. At the end of the day, it's art. It's business, but it's art. So,
yeah.
so what's your song about?
Totally.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's about Alicia.
Okay. I love it.
I mean, it's the song. I wrote it a couple of times. So the version was the first time I did it with Cody Ross, um, way back when I was a teenager, when I lived out here, and then and mostly the song is about like her show, like when she's on stage, when she's when the lights turn on, everybody dances, and it's a fun song. And then I rewrote it, and then got it recorded again, and that's plastered all over every social media platform that you can listen to music on, because it's in my album, my 12-piece album
Mm-hmm.
on, and then it's also on Spotify. Yeah, Spotify, and then that's mostly about it. And then
Yeah.
I did get the songs played on the Dumb Fun Show at one point. When
Mm-hmm.
that was a big podcast slash radio. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
they still do shows,
Ooh, that's
but
a good question. I wonder if they do. It's the Big Dumb Fun Show, right?
yeah. You can, I mean, there is a video of me. I guess they took video. I don't know. Sometimes they have an Instagram, or they have some old videos on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah, I don't. They don't have any new content up.
no, it's like old. The last time they told me that they like stopped doing it because of COVID. So that was like
And you would think,
last year.
yeah, yeah.
And
They're
then the
they're
last,
they're. Yeah, I don't see anything. I do see something. 3 days ago, there was a post on Facebook, and then there was a post on February 25th. I think the Facebook page still alive.
yeah, they have the station like at the Ice House in the Westport area.
Mm-hmm. I think they're still. I think they're still doing it because they're advertising on Facebook, and I just went to go see a band called Radkey at the um, record bar, and they're a
Huh?
relatively young band, independent artists, and they posted about them recently too. So I mean, they're staying up to date, at least with activity.
Yeah,
That's cool.
totally.
What's great about the Big Dumb Fun Show is that, I mean, they had everybody on there,
Yeah,
and it was such an honor to be a part of kind of a Kansas City staple when it came to local artists. I love it.
they always tried to get onto the Buzz. That was a hard situation to get onto that show, but
Yeah,
they did have
yeah.
some local people on Sundays, whatever.
No, I think Journey was the one that did that, right? The Sunday night.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was sad when it canceled, like the show
I mean,
canceled.
the biggest goal was to hear your song, and you wait and you listen to everybody else's music too. I
Yeah,
think Kansas City could have a resurgence of that type of vibe. It's just, it's a weird town. It's like a working class town, and everybody just wants to get out and grind it out. And I think the music support is kind of there, but it's not. It's not advertised. It's not like when the Big Dumb Fun Show was out. It was a big deal. When Jeremy was
yeah,
doing Homegrown Buzz, it was a big deal. When KKFI, which they still do, they still showcase local talent, but you were able to springboard your music on a radio station that's terrestrial. It's not the internet. And you
yeah.
can be in your car listening to it. So I don't know.
I mean, it's
We'll see what
something.
happens.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'll tell you, Ooh, this year we've got fairs and festivals that we're doing. We've got a lot of out of town shows. Um, so we're doing a lot of travel dates, and it's looking like man, and I'm kind of excited about it. But it's looking like towards the end of the year too that we potentially could be on some maybe, and this is just we're just working on it right now, but maybe like a little leg of a tour with a band. So, you know, with original music, especially kind of the music that I write, which is kind of your rock and country kind of blend.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's hard for me to find my footing because I'm not 100% one thing. I'm not 100% rock or I'm not 100% country. It's kind of got its own base, so to speak. So it's hard for me to kind of fit, if you will. And I don't know, man. You just like you keep writing those songs and you keep putting them out and you see what happens next.
yeah. Sometimes it's hard to come up with the next great song. People say, "Oh, you can use the same old songs before and just rewrite them," but then I don't know. Just then you just want to make it better than it used to be.
I know. And you know, with that being said, it's also experiences like you know sometimes for me when I get writer's block it's because I'm not really doing anything that gives me inspiration,
Yeah,
and what I started doing is I started listening to other people's stories and I started writing about their story, you know, and which has helped me quite a bit because everybody has a story, you know,
yeah.
and it's how
That's
you put it together. Yeah.
yeah,
So so that's helped me at least with my writer's perspective. And I don't know, I'm always playing in bars. I'm like your typical dirty bar superstar. Um, but it's like, somebody's always telling me, or you overhear stories about some crazy stuff. And I don't know. That's how Beautiful Redneck, when I wrote Beautiful Redneck, we were in a honky tonk bar out in Ottawa, Kansas, and I saw a girl. She had her hat on backwards. She had a big old, dip of chew, and she was the most beautiful girl in the room for that night. She had her
yeah,
boyfriend. They were playing pool. She reared back. He pissed her off. Reared back, punched him, decked him, knocked him on his butt. And I said, "Wow, that is one beautiful redneck right there." And so I wrote the song "Beautiful Redneck" just based on purely what I saw on that night. So, again, it's kind of like taking other people's stories and writing them out.
yeah. Sometimes I like to come up with like maybe watching a movie and then maybe the song comes from the movie. Or I mean, when I wrote Spaceship, it was just I guess I had a just an idea and it just popped in my head and then just wrote it down.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
You start writing, and it kind of falls onto the paper.
yeah,
I love that. That's great.
yeah. Started making T-shirts for Two Guys in a Sound System. Just something
Oh,
to
really?
wear. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, So, do you have a lot of inventory, or?
Um, I it's mostly all on digital, so I don't have them in my hand. So you
Mm-hmm.
just go to Bonfire and then you just click on and you buy it and then they'll make it.
Mm. Bonfire?
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, that's the other thing is you don't have to have a bunch of inventory. You won't go broke. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
all
that's a
digital.
great
Like,
idea. Yeah. Yeah, it's on demand, right?
yeah.
Hmm. That's cool. Is it just
I
t-shirts
think
or can you do other things?
you can do other things, but it I guess it depends on what kind of site you're going for.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's great. Again, it's kind of like technology has made things convenient for us, where in the old days, I remember printing off little things and having to iron on each and every single one of my t-shirts with
Well, they
an
still do
iron.
that.
Oh my
They still
God,
have on.
man.
They have
I
the
guess, but
they
you
have
know
the
what?
new up. They have the upgrade of them. Like you can buy this machine that you can do it handheld kind of.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, I never had the patience for it ever.
It's just I I used to I did buy one of those screen printers at Joann's back in the day, and I still have it, but I haven't really taken it out of the basement
Yeah.
because it's so hard to do.
I know. I remember I tried. I forgot what it was called, like You Do or something like that. And there was a screen thing, and I had my squeegee, and I was pressing so hard that it would smush the ink into the t-shirt, and I was terrible at it. I mean, just
I
I'd
think
rather
that's
iron
what
on.
it. I think that's what the name was.
Oh, was
What I
it?
used. Yeah.
Oh, that thing was a pain in the butt, man.
I mean, I you had to find all the stuff for it on like online or Joann's, and then they don't really have it anymore, so it's kind of sad. But it
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with it. I mean, just leave it in the
eBay, eBay.
eBay and get it back all the money.
Excuse me. Yeah, I think eBay. Get rid of it and just focus on bonfire.
Yeah, I
So
have
I do have to get you my bracelets sometime. Oh, I forgot.
oh
I
yeah.
was gonna I was gonna put it on this show, but I have my bracelet. Hold on. I know this is dead space. Give me 2 seconds. Hold on.
To me.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, I don't know if you remember this.
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
They're
now
all big,
look at. I
stretched
wore this
out.
thing so much. Look how rusty that thing.
Oh,
I wore it. I sweat every show. I had this thing on.
gross.
Hey, it was the coolest piece of my wardrobe, though. You know what I mean? Because it
Yeah, yeah.
had the blue, the brown, the white. Like I don't know if that's coming through, but this is like my
Yeah,
favorite
I
piece.
Well, I'm happy I made it for you. Maybe I should bring them back. What do you
I
think?
love them. I love them. I think that this, like, it was just a cool. It was a cool piece. It was interesting. It had a story behind it, and you've got these. What are these called? Bobby, not bobby pins. I don't know what these are called.
But they're like safety pins.
Safety pins. Yeah, and I was like, wow, it's so cool. So people would actually come up and kind of take a look at it because it's shiny right here. You wouldn't know that they were safety pins until you kind of took it
Yeah.
off and was examining it. But I mean, this had to take forever to do with all the
It,
all the
it, yeah,
beads and stuff.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it took a while to get all the beads on the pins.
Yeah.
You have to find the right little beads for it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it was easy to put together. There was a couple of artists that wore them.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got Get Busy Living. You got Alicia. She started wearing them and getting the name out. Um, Blame Shift wore them,
Mm-hmm.
and also she also used it in her music video.
Yeah.
So I mean, it got looked at a couple of times,
Yeah. Yeah. I think it
and
was a cool
I
piece.
also sent it out to some big name people, like some celebs that were on TV,
Yeah.
and they wore
Well,
them for a little bit.
they're cool.
So I mean, I guess I should bring them out again and try to
Yeah. Why not?
reset and sell them again.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I
That'd
don't
be
do
great.
anything that much.
Yeah. Might as well bring it back. I'd get another one without the crusties on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I
But
wore I wore this thing for years, man. I'm just saying.
I did make you another one a while back ago. There was a different
It
color.
was
I think
it was a white
white.
one, and then I got a black one. So I got this one, a white one, and a black one. And the black one was it's beautiful. I just didn't wear it as much. I started to wear the white one when this one got a little crusty. And I wore it for a while, but this is still my favorite.
Yeah.
So, you have your favorite pieces.
There was the silver one was very popular because it was
Mm-hmm.
the little cubes.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of chunky.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Well, yeah. Hey, man, if you bring it back, let me know.
Oh, all right. I'll let you know. And also thinking of some great ideas for a new event. So hopefully I'll have another event coming up. Something maybe in the next couple of months or something. Now I just have to find a good of charity to go for.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll bring back. Good, maybe work for Save the Music Foundation again.
Yeah. There's the Band of Angels, too. And I think my friend Deanne Kinch, who's in the band Superstar Mafia, and she has her own original album out. I don't know if you know Deanne, but she's also in the
Oh,
tribute. She's the lead singer for Blondage and Young Jet or Lone Jet, I think.
Uh, wasn't
And she
didn't
has a
she play
cause.
drums?
What's that?
Does she play drums?
No,
Who's that
she's a
other girl?
singer.
Who's that drummer that was in I used to have her bracelet, but I don't have it anymore. But I think it was called Mod. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But she was really good. I just
Mm-hmm.
don't haven't really seen her.
Are you talking about Mad
She,
Libby's drummer?
yeah.
Yeah, that's Dana. Yeah, I haven't really talked to Dana in so long. Um, I see her out with her band and stuff like that, but it's been forever since I've talked to her. She is a badass.
She's amazing. I mean, there's so many
Yeah,
good drummers in Kansas City that are incredible.
yeah, and some of them actually no, you don't hear about them. You know what I mean? Like again, I think this
Yeah.
is why we wanted to do a podcast called the Rhythm Section, so that way the bass players and drummers kind of get the love because singers and guitar players always get whatever. But when it comes to the core of the band, it's like, hey, why don't we talk to those guys and gals? Because just off the top of my head, I can name you, 10 bass players and 10 drummers here in town that I absolutely think are fantastic. Absolutely love them, And I go see their band because of them. They're a good band, but because I love the rhythm section.
When I booked the Billy Bats, I didn't think they were going to be that great, and then that night I was like, oh my gosh, they're amazing.
Oh my gosh! So Jason, he's theatrical. He was in theater. He was a actor and a director and had all this stuff. And he had a company called Cinnamon Eye Productions, and he would put on these plays at the Westport Coffee House. They have a theater.
Yeah,
Excuse me. And I got to know him way, 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 way back where I came back from California. I was looking to start a band in Kansas City, and he was one of the guys that I met that was a guitar player. And we got together, we jammed, and he was very bluesy, and I needed a blues rock player at that time. And we had just stayed friends from there on. But he puts all of that show element that he takes from theater and he puts it into his music show.
I mean they're really good. I love I've been playing. I posted. He's on the playlist that I post this Wednesday, and it was the Kansas City Blues. That one is one of my favorites. Or The Train. That song, The Train. I don't know. That one is really good too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's got a number of them. Him and Paula are like, because she plays the rhythm in that band, and that's his girl too. And oh my gosh, you talk about like a fantastic duo. So from a Kansas City
She's
perspective,
also amazing.
yes, yeah, she's great. So yeah, but no, you should have them on another show for sure.
Yeah, I was talking to her about it a while back ago, but then
Mm,
something come up, so I couldn't get them on, and then hopefully I can get them on soon.
yeah,
And get them both on or something. I know
yeah,
that
yeah.
doesn't he have a show on KKFI now?
Yeah, yeah, he's had a long running show on KKFI, and yeah, he's been there for for years, and so he has, and he's a historian on especially old guitar blues artists, like the ones that are slide guitar or not bands, but just the act, the
Yeah.
artist itself. And when you listen to a show, which I have, and I think it's great, um, you'll hear all of the influences that he has, and it turns you on to some cool, vibey stuff, man. It's really super cool.
No, where do you listen to his stuff on? Does it like on just on a like an app, or is it like a or on the radio?
So I don't listen to radio anymore. I listen to everything on my phone.
Hey, like if you're in the car, what's one? Do you listen into
Yeah.
anything on in the car?
I don't listen to terrestrial radio. I know it's crazy, but I listen to Sirius XM, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but I am a channel flipper, and I have like the comedy channels on my hot list. I listen to a lot of comedy, and then I have one sports station and just a few music stations that I flip around. But I like to listen to comedy in the car. I know it's kind of nuts, but when I'm by myself, I
Uh,
just listen. I like, you know what I mean? I don't know, it's my thing.
yeah. I mean, it's sometimes when I'm in the car with my mother, it's mostly I don't really. I mean, yeah. Sometimes we talk mostly, but we don't really. I mean, there's some music playing in the background, but it's not. It's mostly like the Beatles or like her style of music, um, or just just
Yeah.
talking.
I do listen to Alt Nation. I listen to Alt Nation quite a bit. I listen to my daughter is a budding musician, and she likes like hard rock, so I'm listening to a lot of like it's called Turbo, which is 90s and
Oh
early
yeah,
2000s. Yeah, and she's listening to a lot of that, and because she likes all that hard stuff, she'll turn it on to like, I mean, she'll turn it on to like serious metal bands, and I don't ever poo poo anything, as far as musicality is concerned, but it just doesn't doesn't hit the trigger for me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, well,
yeah.
we'll listen to it for a little bit. Um, Now I love, what's crazy is that I know a lot of people that when you listen to the radio at any given time, you're nostalgic, right? You want to listen to something that reminds you of a time. But as a musician and a writer, I'm always interested on what new artists are out there and what the vibe is. You know what I mean? So I'll get a lot at my shows, and people be like, "Hey, man, do you know any Hank Jr.?" Like, yeah, I do. I do know some Hank Williams Jr. But there's a new artist named Zach Bryan. And I'm like, Zach Bryan is a new artist, and I think he's just as good. I mean, he may not be an icon yet, but he's young. He could be the next Willie Nelson. He could be the next, whatever. And
Yeah.
if I do listen to the radio, I do like listening for new artists. And I've always been like that too.
I mean, I normally, if I'm listening to new artists, I try to find them on Spotify,
Hmm.
um, or I Google on Instagram and I find them. Well, I have to look up their name and find them. But I do like this, a couple of people. His name is Ben Potter, and he's like mostly like Christian pop, but indie. And then this other guy that I know, his name is Jeff. Uh, well, not Jeff, not Jeff Koch, but Jeremy Zucker.
Yeah. That's
He's more
awesome.
very popular. But yeah.
Hey, while I have this opportunity, so Lisa McKenzie, the drummer for the band, she just called me. She wanted to be in on this interview as well, but she just wasn't able to time wise. But she did call me, and so I'm gonna put her on speakerphone so that way she can be on. So say hello. Go ahead, say it again. There you go. So Lisa is recently she actually got an endorsement deal with Collision Drumsticks from the UK, and so she's part of the podcast for the Rhythm Section Life, and
Yeah.
yeah. So I know that we just kind of touched on that a little bit, but she definitely wanted to be here just in time because we actually have to get ready for a show. We've got an early load in for our show at the Branding Iron Theater in Richmond, Missouri, and it's a little bit to travel out there, but we've got to get out there and do setup and stuff like that. So, but I just wanted to because she called in. I didn't want her to miss her opportunity to be on an interview. Do you have anything to say?
Else to say?
Who are you talking to?
Yeah.
Well, what is the topic? What is the topic of question?
We're talking about Elon Musk and how awesome he is. No, I'm joking. We're just talking about music.
Okay. Well, anything specific or just in general?
Well, I'm pretty certain this is just in general. We're just talking.
Oh, okay.
Just talk about me.
Well, I guess for me, is a way of life and something that is almost like therapeutic. You know, it's something that my life purpose, and hopefully the music I make is transcends to other people in those ways. And my interaction with other musicians, and whether that be vocally, verbally, conversation, or interaction, like playing music has the greatest impact with relationships and friendships throughout my life. So I guess that's what I would add.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Well, hey, I know it's difficult, and yes, I know we're on a timeline. So let me call you right back, and I'll call you right back.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, she was a little disappointed that she wasn't able to be on here with us.
Oh, well, she'll come back.
Yeah.
We can schedule more if you're interested.
Absolutely. Well, we do have to get everything loaded in, and I got a ton of merchandise. I always put merchandise up at my shows now, and which I hadn't done in a while. Man, I'm telling you, it's like when I did that show at the record bar, it was like, oh my God, it's like a brand new feeling, just playing all original music, being happy, and I don't know. I appreciate you letting me do this interview.
Oh, you're welcome. I needed something to post.
Absolutely.
But
well, if anything,
well, thank you so much for
Yeah,
Thank you so much for doing this with me.
100%.
For
Yeah,
taking time out of your day.
yeah, I appreciate it. And then, if anybody's interested, they can go to DamienGunnMusic.com, and all my social media is just Damien Gunn Music. And I'm posting a lot more stuff these days, so there's a lot of content out there. So, man, if anybody watches this, swing on by and hit the like button and subscribe.
Yeah, please. I will have this up on YouTube so everybody can see.
Excellent. That's awesome. So,
All
right, my
right.
friend.
Well, I'll let
It's good talking to you.
you too. Let's keep in touch.
Will do. All right, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.